This is part 2 of this lesson about air pressures and different types of fronts on a weather map. So on this side, it says the directions. You're going to answer the following questions using the map. So you're going to use this map to answer the questions below. First, we are going to use our colored pencils to label our map. Remember that we had cold front was the pointed tick marks, and that was in blue. So anywhere where these blue tick marks are, like right here, we're going to shade that in blue. And also those tick marks. There's also some tick marks down here that are pointed, so we're going to use those, color those blue. Okay, so now we have our high pressure systems we're going to use with the same colored pencil. Remember, high pressure, things are closer together, less or more dense. That means it's colder. So we're going to use our blue colored pencil anywhere where there is an H. That's for high pressure. So high pressure there, high pressure here, up by Seattle. And high pressure means clear skies. Okay, so we've got all our high pressures colored blue. Now we're going to go to our warm fronts. Now we only have 2 round tabs right here. So I'm going to shade those in red. That. And then remember, anywhere there's low pressure or things are farther apart, it's less dense. That means it's a low pressure system. So we're going to color all of our L's, or low pressure systems, red, because that is where the warm air is. When things are farther apart and it's less dense, it means it is warmer. Okay, so your map should look like this. So if you need to, pause your video to make sure that your map looks like this. This is going to help you answer the questions because you know where the warm and the hot air are. Okay. So number 1 on our questions is, which cities are experiencing dry, clear conditions? So if we look up here, we know that dry, clear conditions is where there is high pressure. High pressure, there's high pressure, things are squished down. There's not enough space for things to evaporate and turn into clouds. So anywhere where there's a high pressure system is going to be nice, clear, dry conditions. So we have Seattle up here. And if we look down here, Chicago is kind of in between. It's in that high pressure section. So we're going to put Chicago. We're also going to put over here by this H, we have New York City and Washington, D.C. So I'm going to put New York and Washington, D.C. Okay. Number 2 says, what cities are probably experiencing lingering rain showers? So remember, if we look at our other page, we know that a stationary front, look, a stationary front, this type of front is stalled and rain may linger for days. So if we look here, we're going to find our stationary front, which is the one with both types of tick marks. So what cities are right around this area? You see we have Orlando and we have Miami. So for number 2, you're going to write Orlando and Miami. What type of front passed through Little Rock? Well, let's look. Little Rock is right here. So you see this one? See how it's moving in this direction, so it probably came from up here. So explain what type of weather they probably had from the front that passed through. So right here, Little Rock experienced a cold front. So we're going to put cold front. Okay, I want you to use the information on the part 2. Remember when we did the matching on the other side of the paper? I want you to use this to help you come up with an answer of why, or what type of weather Little Rock probably had from the front that passed through. So I suggest finding the cold fronts on this list, reading what happens, and use that to explain what type of weather maybe they experienced. So go ahead and do that now. You might have to pause the video to do that because I'm going to move on. Do this before we go on to number 4. Okay, number 4 says, which city will be cooling off soon? So looking at this, we know that a cold front brings cold temperatures. So what city might be getting cold soon? So go ahead and answer number 4. I'm not going to answer number 4 for you. Number 5. Which cities are probably experiencing stormy or rainy weather? Well, we know that in a low pressure system, density is decreased, water can evaporate and make clouds. So you're going to look in all of your low pressure systems. Your low pressure systems, you have a low pressure over here. So number 5, I'm going to put Los Angeles. Los Angeles. And also if I look over here, there's a low right here. There's also a low right here. This low is really close to Charleston, so I'm going to write Charleston too. Charleston. Okay, which city is cold enough to support frozen precipitation like snow or sleet? So I'd like to remind you that the temperature that water freezes is 32 degrees. So which of these cities would be able to have frozen precipitation like snow or sleet? So make sure that number 3, 4, and 6 are completely answered and your paper is colored just like is shown in the videos. Once you do that, go ahead and turn your paper in.